From making t-shirts to making names for other people, we're joined now by Chad Paris. Thanks for joining us, Chad.
Thanks, Matt. Glad to be here.
Were there any early signs in life that you were destined to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so I'd say the two biggest things that were kind of the ingredients to the recipe of me becoming an entrepreneur were, one, I was just a terrible employee. Like I said, probably had over 100 jobs by the time I was 21, 22 years old. As I mentioned, always felt like everybody was an idiot. I would do it differently. Didn't like working for them, didn't like their leadership style, didn't feel inspired, didn't like coming into work for them. The other thing was, and I don't know exactly where this came from, but at a really young age, I always remember feeling this incredible pull in rebellion, this polar opposite to doing whatever anybody told me to do.
And you learned what you didn't want to do through education, through sales, but when you take that jump to start your own company, why branding?
So it's interesting because brands evolve, right? You look at any company and their evolution is ultimately how the brand is kind of supposed to keep up. And as a company, we evolved from what we started, which was a paper printing company, into the branding agency that we are today. So part of it was market demands, and part of it was just opportunity. Actually, it's a funny story. There was an intern that we had hired that was just wicked talented, and we'd had some designers working for us. We were doing what we called branding, which was really just kind of logo design. And his first day, he started on the floor because we couldn't afford the chair to put him in. And about a year after that, we had been doing more and more branding work. And he said to us, why don't we just become a branding agency? And while that didn't like completely shift the model overnight, it really planted a seed. And over time, our brand really evolved into the branding agency that it is today. The other side was market demand. We ended up landing a client out of the Silicon Valley that just closed a $100 million round of funding. They called us up one day because we had won a couple of awards for some websites that we had built, and said to us, I want you to reskin my website. Actually, the way he phrased it was, Shad, I want you to reskin my website. He's a French guy, right? And so I said to him, okay, that's fine. Let me ask you some questions. And over a couple of different conversations that we had with him, we heard things like it takes anywhere from half an hour to an hour and a half for somebody to truly understand what our product actually is. And there was an opportunity. There was a real problem there that a new website wasn't going to fix that. And so we came back to him with a proposal, and the proposal was very simple. Before we move on to building your website as you requested, we think we need to go all the way back to square one, start with research, build the brand, and then move into building a website for you. The cost is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be about 10 times more than the budget you originally asked. And he loved the idea. He went for it. And so that was really what started our journey, from that seed being planted from that intern to us ultimately evolving into a branding agency. But it still took time for us to continue to kind of hammer away at that stone to figure out what the statue is going to look like.